Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I have a confession to make. I have a huge weakness for butter popcorn at the movie theater, and my kids are dying to go see this new Avengers movie, the one called Endgame. Supposed to be one of the biggest movies of all time. I think it had the biggest opening of all time. And what I'm really thinking about, yeah, I'd like to see the movie, but I have a rule. It doesn't matter if I'm on a diet. It doesn't matter if I'm trying to eat low carb. I don't care what the circumstances are. If I go to the movie theater, we are eating butter popcorn and we're drinking Coke, not Diet Coke, real Coke. That's just what we do in this family. And so sometime, hopefully in the next few days, I'm going to take the kids to see that movie and spend the ridiculous amount of money that it costs to go to the movie, which is, I think, to get in and out with popcorn and Coke and all that with 3 people, that's about a $50 to $60 proposition, versus in the past when I was a kid, you could do that for about $10. And that is why we love digital assets, because this inflation, this lie that inflation is the normal course of things and things are supposed to get more expensive like that over time, is just not true. That's something that's been sold to us as being okay, and it's not. Okay, from my friend James Bond, Twitter friend, at ECOSSEXRP1, sent me this. Bloomberg Crypto, at Crypto, a new survey reveals about half of institutional investors consider digital assets worth investing in. And here's the article, and this is, I think it's a survey that was conducted by Fidelity. According to a survey commissioned by Fidelity, which began a custody service to hold Bitcoin for customers earlier this year. It says, according to the survey, which questioned 441 institutional investors from November to February, 72% prefer to buy investment products that hold digital assets, while 57% choose to buy them directly. Well, the important thing to note here is that, first of all, 57% want to buy digital assets directly. That's pretty huge. But this was conducted in a bear market, folks. Wait till you see what happens in a bull market. But if you go down here towards the end, I wanted to read this last part to you. The survey found that 47% of institutional investors said digital assets are worth investing in, with the same percentage saying they appreciate crypto for being innovative. The survey, which was done with Greenwich Associates, also found 46% of respondents like the low correlation between cryptocurrencies and other asset classes. I can't tell you how important this last sentence is, folks, because I keep harping on the fact that this is the main reason that digital assets are going to be so huge is because they have termed it a new asset class. And that means the least amount of money in any of the existing asset classes is gold with $8 trillion. And gold is actually a subset of the commodities asset class. So there's actually more than $8 trillion in commodities, which is an asset class. Well, they're telling you right here, part of what, and this is what Wall Street is going to love. This is why they're jumping in this game. Anything that goes in a different direction, in other words, has a low correlation between other asset classes to Wall Street, that means, hey, here's an investment that we can be in when, let's say that the stock market is doing terrible. This asset class may behave differently. So it creates a hedge for Wall Street. And that's what makes it so interesting to them. That's why they smell the money, because even if it's nothing but a hedge, now they're smelling a lot more money in terms of what they know is going to be the appreciation because it's a new asset class. But over the mid to long run, they see it as a hedge. And that is one of the reasons it's going to be so huge too. Okay, moving along. This is from XRP Neo. I thought this was interesting. He's been putting out some really good information lately. At XRP_Anderson. One of the people on the board of directors at Ripple is Zoe Cruz, once considered the most powerful woman on Wall Street. She had a 26-year career at Morgan Stanley, held many positions, among them co-president. And this was a pretty good find because this is from Wikipedia, from her page on Wikipedia. I like it when people find things like this because it just further shows you just how much power and influence that Ripple has accumulated over the brief 5 to 6 year period. I've always thought in my gut after I discovered Ripple, I've always thought that there was a much bigger power base and a much bigger group of people that were behind Ripple somehow. And this is the kind of stuff you see, and it kind of confirms what your gut's been telling you about all this. Ripple is so much bigger than just being some startup digital asset company. It's like his name. XRP is the one, and it's the one. If you really start to look at Ripple and what they've got going on, there's a reason that I refer to XRP as the one, the Neo of digital assets. Okay, next from CoinDesk. This tells you a lot too. Crypto winter. Now, this tells you how Wall Street people think. While we've been in this bear market for 15 plus months, all we've heard is, like the Bloomberg article I showed you earlier today, all we've heard is how Wall Street's getting nervous. They were going to come in digital assets, but they're a little bit nervous. Bloomberg has written all sorts of articles trying to scare everybody like this. That is not how Wall Street thinks. That is not how people that make money think. Wall Street has been coming into digital assets since as early as 2013. They do not decide to put hundreds of millions of dollars towards something and then have second thoughts because there's a bear market. They know that with every asset class you have bear markets. Bear markets come and go. Bull markets come and go. What this tweet says is the way that they really think. Crypto winter has been helpful to Bitcoin futures exchange Bakkt by letting it buy firms on the cheap. People with money, they look for recessions. They look for bear markets. They sit on the sideline with cash that's ready to invest in down asset classes. That's how they stay wealthy. They don't react emotionally like retail investors do. They do the exact opposite. And when everybody is terrified, just like Warren Buffett has a quote as saying, when there's blood in the streets or something to that effect, that's when you buy. That's what they've been doing. They've been buying firms on the cheap, and they've been building their digital asset exchange. And these people are about ready to come in and make bank. And that's what they're going to do. And those of you that have had the guts to withstand this market, or those of you who didn't have the guts and just put your digital assets in a safe place, like on a Ledger Nano S, and walked away, that's okay too. It's not for everybody to have to watch all the ups and downs of all the news articles that are trying to scare everyone. It's understandable to want to walk away for a while. I get it. But this is what the wealthy are doing when everybody else is terrified. And it's easy for them to do it because the wealthy are the ones that control the news media. You think these people don't control the financial news media? Those contributors to Forbes are paid by someone. Those contributors to Forbes who have written article after article bashing XRP for the last 15 months, someone pays them to write those articles. That's a fact. That's just the way it is. In fact, I asked one of them, who's paying you? That's what I'm interested in. And she said, well, that's none of your business. How is that your business? Of course she doesn't want it to be my business, because if we found that out, you might find a trail to what's really going on. Okay, next, I got this from two people at X Lighting the Way. The Modern Investor. Okay, I went and watched this video after I found out about this, and I'm going to go through it with you because I want to give all credit to the Modern Investor. He found this If you don't watch his videos, he's been at this for a little longer than I have been. I think he went through the last bull runs. He's a really good. I listen to him sometimes. But the modern investor found this, okay? And first, before I show you these tweets, I'm going to show you this. This is what this is about. A few days ago, remember, ICE is the owner of the New York Stock Exchange, and they are the ones putting out Bakkt, which is going to be the exchange that legitimizes all digital assets. I've heard that Goldman, Morgan Stanley, and all the major firms are going to do their trading through Bakkt, okay? When this launches, it is on, folks. When this launch, and that doesn't mean that very second that the market's going to go crazy. That's not what I'm saying. But it will be the major catalyst that puts the stamp of approval on all of this, and what eventually makes us all wealthier than we could imagine, because we had the guts to come in when we did. Okay, but what this is, the Bakkt, as you know, has been trying to get the approval from the CFT. Is it the CFT? I always draw a blank. CF. Let's see if it's written in this article. The CFTC. I think it is. Okay, we'll just go with that. But the point is that they've been trying to get the approval from the CFTC to, and the issue, the holdup from the CFTC has been that the custody issue, and they didn't want Bakkt to hold the digital assets as well as letting people trade them. They wanted Bakkt to have a separate entity, this is my understanding, that would hold someone who holds digital assets. Well, so what Bakkt did is they bought the digital asset custody company. I missed this. The modern investor found it. And so then what happened was, before I watched the video, I was made aware of it by X Lighting the Way. Let me go back to his tweet. Come on now, Mr. Computer. All right, at X Lighting the Way sent this. The modern investor found this info about Bakkt. 13 blockchains that will support custody along with 100 other coins. There will be many winners once they launch. What's in your wallet? Okay, and then our buddy C3 Nick, who has been out of pocket and showed back up today, also sent me this. I'm glad to have C3 Nick back. He has sent me a lot of great information over time. And so here's what they're talking about. The modern investor read the same thing we all read, that about that acquisition by Bakkt of the custody company. Okay, this is the custody company, the digital asset custody company. And then he went to the technology section because he was trying to find out, well, if Bakkt has publicized that they're going to start with Bitcoin and Ethereum, but if they've just bought a custody company which is going to custody already does custody for digital assets, he wanted to find out which digital assets they do custody. And so he got to the technology page and he scrolled down, and what did he find? And so, folks, the point of all this is real simple. If you truly do appreciate what is about to happen, and you are wondering which digital assets you should hold, if you want a better starting place than anywhere, this is the company that is going to custody digital assets for Bakkt. And so, look no further than this list. If you want to know some pretty darn good bets for digital assets that will be the first ones that are custodied on the Bakkt platform, and looky here, XRP. Just so you know, I own Bitcoin, I own XRP, I own Ethereum, I own XLM. I do not directly own EOS, but I have some family members that do. I don't own any of this. I don't own this. I don't own this. Or I think I do have one or two ERC20 tokens. But if you want a good starting place, folks, to go and invest in some digital assets, this is the page you need to look at. And this is very exciting because up until the modern investor discovered this, I had always just thought that Bakkt was going to start with Bitcoin and Ethereum, and they might just start with those two. But now I know that they are equipped to custody X freaking RP. the greatest digital asset ever created. I want to finish with this from Jack Ma. This is a tweet that I saw from this guy, Jack Ma, who is the founder of Alibaba, one of the largest companies in the world. I failed a key primary school test 2 times. I failed 3 times for the middle schools. For 3 years, I tried and failed in the universities. So I applied for jobs 30 times, got rejected. I went to even KFC when they came to China. 24 people went for the job. 23 people accepted. I was the only one who got rejected. I applied for Harvard for 10 times, rejected. I think we have to get used to rejection. The only thing, never give up. And he's the chairman of the Alibaba Group, one of the richest men in the world. And I tell my sons this every day of their lives. We go through rejection all the time, whether it's in baseball or school or whatever. Rejection is a part of life. So you young people listening to me, get used to it. Get used to falling off the horse and get back up, get on the horse, and don't be a wuss. Do not quit. Don't ever give up. That's how you succeed. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family that the digital asset investor does not give up, and I'm in it to win it. Thank you for listening.